Welcome back to Grit Gym, guys. We come to you every day, every weekday at 12:30. And today we have Katie Savage on. She's got an apparel line. We're really excited to have her. Katie's a lot like you guys, where she, maybe I'll let her tell her story, but she has the apparel line. You guys saw Emily the other day. They have the apparel line together, so it's a pretty cool deal. Really into exercise. Obviously, she's done very well with her health by the looks of her, but I'll let her kind of go into that. Katie, can you tell them a little bit about you and how you got started in strength and conditioning?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I have always kind of had just an active lifestyle. Growing up with three brothers, I was the only girl, and we were just always going and being active. However, about 6 years ago, I went through a divorce and I really started implementing exercise into more of like my mental health and to help me get through those difficult days in the beginning. And so I really just started that. That's kind of what propelled me into this entire new world of, health and fitness, which utilizes every single aspect of your life that I wasn't even totally aware of before, how much everything really is so interconnected. So that's kind of how it began.
That's awesome. What were the big obstacles that you saw at the beginning? But like before you actually, like, have you exercised your whole life, or did you just start into strength and conditioning, or were you a jogger or an athlete back in the day? Like what original obstacle did you have going into this?
So I began actually more of a jogger. So I ran a ton. I was running and doing little races here and there and doing that. And then I started to strength train. I started, lifting up the weights and really enjoying, how my body responded to that, how my body responded only physically, but also mentally. Just
Cool.
Pushing through and seeing how I could lift the stronger weights and building up to that. And so I just really started more in that, in the gym, just literally picking up weights and, having my boyfriend help me, lift and show me things and, different exercises and really started implementing in that. And I really, fell in love with that aspect of exercise that I hadn't really gotten into before. And so that was interesting for me to kind of, mend the two and see, kind of find my happy balance between those two, which was great. It definitely took time to figure out what worked for me, whether that was every single day going to the gym and lifting weights, or whether it was, still running and implementing that aspect, because I liked I liked what that did for, again, like my mental clarity, the runs. It was like a moving meditation for me. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. And then just actually more recently, the last 2 years, I've started really lifting, the heavy weights in the gym and getting the barbell over my shoulder and, lifting and doing really heavy lifts that I did need somebody, a coach there to help me and to train me and to do that. And actually just the last 6 months, I joined a gym, actual not powerlifting, but just, heavy lifting, these heavy weights that I had never done before. And that has been really, really cool to see the difference. Just to utilize that different, again, exercise modality that I had never done before. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, you can, like, the further you dig, the more everything kind of becomes the same thing, just a different variation of the same thing. But at the same time, there's so much, it's a vast world once you keep digging and digging. But do you have a favorite lift so far?
I really, really like deadlifts.
Yeah.
They're fun. I like the glute and leg activation. And so I love those. And even squats though too. Like
you like squats for real?
I really, really do. I've always, I don't know, I guess I've always felt stronger there. And then, I'm one of the few females at this gym. And so, it's kind of nice and just, the friends that we are working out with, and my coach is like, holy shit, you just lifted that. And, gives you a little motivation, a little boost to keep going. So, yeah.
Yeah. What have you lifted so far?
Sorry.
What numbers have you put out? Like, what have you deadlifted so far?
So my deadlift, my personal record for that, my PR is I got 205. So that was big for me for my deadlift. And then for my squats, I got to 195. So.
Oh, nice. 195 for a squat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Those are impressive numbers. I think like deadlift, I think, is definitely like a very female friendly exercise in my experience. Like at a gym, like women really tend to gravitate towards that one. I don't totally know why, but it is like super empowering, right? It's like there's all this weight sitting on the ground that you've always been told that you're not supposed to do, or you get big, bulky, and gross, and which is ridiculous if you think about. But and then you go and you lift it, and you're like, there's a lot of guys that would be scared of this weight. And I just did that. Or that's the kind of the expression I get from the females that lift these weights well above 200. It's pretty cool.
No, absolutely. It's exactly what I mean. I think you just nailed it, because it is. It's somewhat intimidating on the floor, and and I am watching all the guys lift a ridiculous amount of weight, but for me, just even seeing this weight and taking over each plate and putting it on the bar and thinking, oh my hell, now I have to lift this all together, and then actually doing it, it's like, hell yeah, I got this. So it really is. It's really empowering. I like it. It's
a badass thing to experience, just from like, I'm not lifting the weight, I'm coaching others on how to lift the weight, but just to see the look on their face and they almost get giddy about it. It's pretty cool. Or the same thing happens when a female does her first chin up. It's just like this overwhelming kind of emotion of just like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Or they squat a certain amount of weight. In squats, I don't find near as fun, but the deadlift and the chin up, I find are two areas where people really light up, especially females.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. It does. It lights you up, and it gives you, especially, I typically work out in the morning. I like to start my day with that, and get the endorphins rolling and everything. And I definitely find the days that I hit a new PR, I'm just like on fire all day. I'm like, hey, what else can I do? What else can I tackle? And it's interesting that you mentioned chin-ups, because that's actually is one of my struggles. I've come a long way from even 3 months ago, but I'm still nowhere where I want to be. So, but that's been cool to like have, something to really work on and to continue to grow, and to know that it's going to be a process. It's not going to be, all right, I went, if I do this every single day, in a month I can do 100, or, some ridiculous ideology like that. So.
Yeah, you just got to keep pounding away, right? I mean, you're not going to hit. You don't have to do your absolute best ever. You shouldn't even try to do as much as you possibly can every single day. But if you show up and you put in any amount of work is better than zero work, you're going to progress, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's.
Oh, am I having a back? Audio sound back to you? Are you okay?
I can hear you.
Okay. I think that shows that is awesome that way, because my coach is the same, where, we're not hitting PRs every day. It's strategic, modality that's being taught, which I think is good to recognize, because I think a lot of people, sometimes there's this misconception that you go to the gym and you just have to kill it and crush it every single day, lift as much and do as much as you can. And that's when injuries happen. That's when, setbacks occur. Because if you really do want to progress, like, there's a strategy behind it, and you got to stay with your body. So I think that's an important aspect that maybe isn't talked about that often. So.
No. Yes. Well, like, the thing is, you're teaching your body how to do something. And if you're continually trying to submit the body into improving its strength, then the body's just screaming for you to stop. And eventually it's going to just sit you down with pain. Right. So it's an interesting thing no one's going to the gym and just beasting out every day over and over and over. Like, they're working smart just as much as they're working hard if they're progressing. You know, like there's a lot of people out there that are just getting hurt over and over and over and accumulating injury after injury. And it's like, well, you didn't make much progress because you were trying to go too hard, right?
Exactly. No, that's exactly what what happens. And that's, I think just in the realm of, because I know some women that are intimidated to even go to the gym or are intimidated to even begin. And, they wonder what that looks like and how much stress that's going to be or how much, extra that's going to add to their life in regards to like struggle, And so I think just being really clear about that. It's like, no, it's progress every day. It's not just going in and beast moding it every single day for the rest of your life. And that's, that's not what you're signing up for at all. So.
Right. Yeah. Like you have to put in effort, but it's got to be focused effort. It'd be silly to sit there and try to I remember when I first started lifting, I wanted to break a record every time I walked into the gym. So it sounds like it's a little silly even to think back on. I mean, that's like almost 20 years ago now, but still, it's not going to work for very long.
Exactly. Like you might be able to do it for a hot minute, but that's when all the injuries and everything's going to happen. And
teenagers can kind of do it for about 2 years, and then that's it. That's the game over. But no, so you started lifting to get like it kind of like exercise kind of became your mental clarity. And I liked what you said just a little bit ago about how like people are a little intimidated by going into a strength training environment, not only because of what is sitting on the other side of that, but also that it's going to add an extra stressor to their life. But I liked your perspective on it, where it's like, no, this is going to add to your life. It's going to make you, it sounds like anyway, that it's going to make you able to do more things in your life because you did this thing. Is that what you meant?
Absolutely. I definitely have noticed that so any sort of physical training every single day where you're getting your body in motion and flowing has become truly like non-negotiable for me. Because of the power that I have found that that I am able to implement every single day, especially when I begin my day that way. I mean, there's days that, I might have to do it at the end of the day, but I know it's coming. And it's just something that has become part of my routine and ritual, not just for the fact to say, oh, I went and checked off the gym. It's truly what it does for the quality of my life, physically, mentally, in every single area of your life. It really does make a big impact just to truly implement that every single day. So, yeah. Yeah.
Like, so you don't take any days off. Every day at a certain time, I dropped my pen. You're going into the gym, right? Is that accurate?
No. So actually, so typically I go to the gym, about 5 days a week. And then on the weekend, I'll either, go for a hike or go for a run or go and stretch or go boating or go do something physical. So I'm being active every day, but I'm not in the gym every single day at all.
I love that. So you're going to the gym and then outside of the gym, you're having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
That sounds like a perfect mix.
It works for me. I know that there's a lot of people that, have to go to the gym every day and that's what they need. But for me, I definitely, I really enjoy, I live in Utah and it's so gorgeous here. And, there's a million different recreational activities to go and do outside. I was just this weekend at a lake with my family and we're boating all day, every day. And you wouldn't think that, that's that big of a physical exercise because you're having fun, right? But, at the end of the day, when you're swimming and trying new tricks and surfing and doing all these things, like you're getting a really good physical exercise on top of the fun.
Uh-huh.
So it just, adds that aspect to your life. So it's really cool to be able to implement that.
Well, to me, that's what the 5 days in the gym were for, like to be able to do the thing that you wanted to do on the weekend. You took 5 days in the week to go to the gym to work out so that you could have more fun while you were doing those things, while you were getting pulled behind a boat, trying to do tricks, swimming around. You had more fun because you did the other 5, and you could do more things in your day and in your professional life and in your personal life because you did those 5 days of training.
Exactly.
I mean, to me, that's why I train. And I think that's what it sounds like for you too.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly where, that to me is my ideal way of working out and physical exercise. And, of course there's times and there's days when you're sick or you're out of town or you're on vacation, but then that's almost just as fun to go find a new gym to, go utilize your workouts in, or, bring bands with you to be able to, get some sort of strength training still in, and, or just get creative. I mean, we've been camping in the middle of nowhere and have found rocks to, lift and squat and do lunges and crazy things like that with. So
I think that's a really good point, because I mean, really, what are you doing with strength training? You're picking up heavy stuff and you're moving it somewhere else. So like, it doesn't really matter. Like some people are like, well, I don't want to buy all that fancy strength equipment, or I don't want to have like on some level, you just got to go out and do stuff, like pick up a rock and move it across your yard, or, whatever it is. So like a little bit of creativity goes a long, long way for sure. So that's great. I love it. Yeah. But what other things in your life have been enhanced through strength training, or like what kind of mental breakdowns or mental barriers did you have to break down as you got into this? No, those are 2 kind of separate questions. My bad.
No, you're good. I'm happy to answer both. So the aspect of just what that's done for my life in every aspect is it really has enhanced everything from my personal relationships to, I'm a mom, and so I can also go and be active with my son and run his 5K at school with him, or help him lift weights and do that. And that's been really cool to be that example. And, even hearing different comments that he's made and saying, Mom, I'm happy that you're healthy. I'm happy that you can do these things with me and show me this. And that's been really, really neat for me to experience as a mom. He's 10. And then the other part is going to a gym and lifting. So I did kind of have to hit this little plateau where I wasn't having the result that I wanted, to get. Like I was trying to get to another place, and I kind of hit this plateau. I was a little bit burned out on, everything I'd been doing. And that's when I was like, okay, maybe I get to go try this powerlifting, and maybe I get to go try this aspect. And I was nervous that, I was going to get big and bulky, like truly. And I know that sounds like, this, I don't know, funny idea that's like, oh, whatever, no, you're not. But it truly is a concern with women. Like, I think in the back of our mind, we're going, I see the really strong women, don't get me wrong. And I think, wow, that's incredible. That's perfect. But for my body type and who I am, like, I don't want to be bulky. I'm not like trying to be some big power lifter. I'm doing it for my, my mental clarity and health, and for my physical body, just to feel healthy and to feel good and to feel confident in myself. And so I was a little bit nervous about that. And when I first went into this gym, I definitely had that conversation with my coach saying, okay, I'll try to lift this heavy weight, but don't, I'm not trying to get these massive like thighs or arms or anything like that. I just want to be like toned and lean and strong.
You didn't want the thunder thighs or the quadzillas?
Not really. I was like, I'll pass on those if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's been really cool to see that, that definitely is a myth. And, especially again, I think it's really, really important to have a coach, like yourself and like my coach, that truly know what they are doing as well. So it's important to do your research and make sure you're going to somebody that understands that aspect and can show you how to do it. So.
Yeah, I love it that you said that. Like, you really do want somebody that knows what they're doing, that and cares enough to learn more on a continual basis too. Like, that's one of the biggest drawbacks of this industry, is just how low the barrier to entry is. Just anybody can jump into it. I kind of like that, but at the same time, it leads to a lot of exercise enthusiasts that just have no clue, but are getting people hurt right and left. But so you had a coach from the get-go of your strength training journey, right?
Yes, I have.
That's
So
awesome.
I've been lucky that way, and he's really really knowledgeable what he does, and just really good to set us up to even before we start lifting. It's not like you go into the gym and it's like, all right, here's your weight. It's going through these flows and stretching and really really utilizing your body to make sure everything's even and
That's
really
fantastic.
balanced. So yeah.
How did you decide on your coach?
So my fiance he was already working out with this coach, and I knew him personally as well. And I was seeing the results that he was having. And again, I was stressed at the time and trying to figure out what to do. And he's the one that actually recommended it and said, hey, you should, why don't you come give this a try? And again, like I did respect this guy already for what he had done. For friends and like I said, my fiance and where they were at. And so I was just really impressed with that. And so I trusted him with the results that he'd already proven, with past.
And it's just been great. It's just happy ever after, huh?
So far, yes. So far, so.
Happy ever after with a lot of grinding hard work in between, right?
Sorry, say that again.
It's happy ever after with a lot of like grinding and like hard work in the middle.
Yeah. Yes. Isn't that what happily ever after is, right? There's always not just this happy fairy tale. It's a hell of a lot of grinding and hard, hard in between, but it's worth it.
Yeah. We've kind of hit on relationships a couple of times in here, but like I really think there's a big difference between finding a relationship that works and being in a relationship that's willing to work at it.
Yes.
And I see a lot of people do that, where they jump into these relationships and they don't want to work at it. They're just like, does it work? Or does, are we right for each other? And are they the one? And I'm like, no, like, what are you even asking that for? Like, is this other person willing to jump into this and get their hands dirty like you are and actually work to have this incredible expand your relationship? I look at it the same way as strength training. Like, are you willing to work at it? But absolutely. I don't know if that's.
No, that's really, really true. I mean, especially somebody who has gone through a divorce and has been, through that aspect and then, being where I'm at now. And it really, that is definitely one of the key components that I, have been observing in other couples and relationships that do make it work is it's almost inevitable that you're going to go through like some really challenging, hard times. And at the end of the day, I have this coach actually made this like brilliant statement that I love. And she said, you don't commit to your partner, you commit to the relationship. And Brittany Fishbeck, let me give her credit for that. And to me, I was just like, it's so brilliant when you look at it from that perspective, because you are truly just committing to the relationship, because there's going to be days and times when you're like, screw this. I don't want to do this. I'm so frustrated. I'm, what the hell? Yeah. And then you'll have times when you're just like on fire. But if you have both people that are both like, okay, I'm committed to this. Like, let's go, let's do this. Let's make this work regardless, like hell or high water. I believe that's the component, because everybody, I don't know. I don't want to, generalize and say everybody, but, it's a misconception that, oh, it's just perfect and everything's going to be fairy tale and rosy. Yeah. In the beginning, like, of course you're Twitter pated and it's fun and new and exciting, but after years down the road and going through trials and going through, having kids and career and family and relationships and health and, everything in between, you're going to have stuff come up. And that's when it matters. Like, even if you fall on your face, even if things do get hard, like, are you still committed to the relationship, or is it like, this is too hard. This is too much. We just don't work. I know I just kind of went off there, but clearly.
Yeah, no, you just said it, like, oh, we just don't work. It's like, well, then you weren't, like, we just don't work. Then you weren't committed to the relationship. You weren't committed to you. You weren't committed to making everything better. Like, you weren't committed to the work it takes to actually put into this thing to grow this out. And it's this similar to strength and conditioning, just because, like, if you're if you're not committed to doing it every day, then, or to doing it 5 days a week or whatever it is, the time that you commit to it, then it's not going to progress on for you. Like anything is that. I don't know. I think most things are that way. But
100%.
it's really,
I mean, I think with anything that's important in your life, I mean, if you're committed to it and it's important to you, you're going to put in the effort every single day. And but this is maybe, I don't know if people fully agree with me, but I don't care. I think there's a misconception that, oh, well, it's important to me, so I'm just gonna put in the work, day in and day out. Well, just like strength and conditioning, you're gonna have days where you might, need to stay home and stretch and relax rather than going and powerlifting. But you're still doing that, and it's for like the overall good of your body and your health to get you to that next level. And so, like, even with a relationship, it's not just rosy and amazing day in and day out and, oh, I'm putting in the work. Like, no, there's times like you freaking hit a wall and, like you feel like you just got smacked down, or just like, I mean, not in that was a horrible terminology. you just feel like,
hopefully isn't happening.
Yeah, you just that was bad. You just fell on your face, but you get back up and you reevaluate and you come back and you keep going if you're committed to the relationship. So I don't know. When I had this, coach at one time tell me that, I was like, that's the most brilliant analogy, because it takes you out of that mindset of saying, you're committed to a person. You're right. You got to be committed to the relationship overall. Yeah. So,
I think it's brilliant. Yeah. And another thing, like if it's important to you, you're going to do it. Relationships are innate in us, right? We're human beings. Like we're going to build relationships. So it's like health, wealth, relationships, time. Like it's important to know about all of those things. So like if relationships are one of our most important resources, then we should learn about that and have mentors within that and hire coaches and do all the things that we were going to do for strength and conditioning too. So my personal opinion, anyway, from my perspective, if it's important, you do whatever it takes to make sure that those things grow.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And that's, again, just like how you just touched on, relationships are a fundamental core of just our human, makeup. A lot of people, oh, I'm happy alone. I'm happy this. And it's like, no, we are meant to be together. Like we are meant to have, a personal relationships and friendships and, every relationship across the board. Like we're meant to be around people. And of course, the most fulfilling are our family and those intimate relationships. I mean, personally, but it comes into balancing everything. So yeah, if it's important to you, you're going to make it work, and you're going to figure out, what that looks like to you, and finding somebody that, you guys can match and say, this is what's important to me. And, we can match up on these, to balance everything out. Like that's where it's at, when you can truly be in that space. And, like you said, as well as, it really is like, it's in all those areas in your life. It's truly balancing every single aspect of your life. And that's like when the happiness and the joy comes, so.
Yeah. That's what's and on some level you have to earn that. I mean, it's a wonderful thing that you would do have to earn it, because then it makes it better. It makes it more important and more valuable to us. But
absolutely.
Pretty cool. But Katie, I say that I'm always going to end these at 1:00, and I never do, because I get so into the intrigued in the person. But where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they find you? Yeah, go for it.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to interject and cut you off. I'm on Facebook just as Katie Savage. Emily and I have an apparel line, savageandfrisella.com, so you can find us, online. We have a Facebook page. We have Instagram, Savage and Frisella on Instagram as well. And then on Instagram, I'm _Katie_Savage as well. follow my personal pages on that. And
cool.
Yeah.
You lucked out with that name. It's an awesome name.
I know, right? We definitely lucked out with with Savage, but then those two just like mended so well together. It was one of those lucky things.
Everybody probably knows how to spell it too. It's probably really nice. No one ever spells my name right. It's always like, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure. It sounds similar. That's okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's
good enough
then, though.
Yeah. No, I really like the name. It's cool. But, well, so so Instagram, Facebook, you're on Twitter?
I'm actually not on Twitter. I'm probably like one of the last people that
I
got into it for a minute, and then I don't know. I just didn't. So. Yeah.
No. It's like it feels like you're just spitting in the ocean. It's like, yeah, well, I don't get it.
Exactly. I just wasn't having, the investment I was putting into it. I wasn't seeing really, as much interaction as I was the other pages. And, it sounds cliche, but, I really do try to utilize my time and where I'm putting everything to get the best, return.
That sounds cliche. That sounds smart.
So I'm like, being a mom and a, entrepreneur, and I have several businesses and, my personal life and everything like that. I'm just like, no, I've got my modalities that work for me right now, and that's where I'm going to stay. So
that's great.
Well, yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. We're going to cut the feed out, but I think you'll be able to see the comments and stuff. I'll share this with you in a second, but thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. This is interesting. We haven't really gotten into much relationship talk on the show yet, and this is an area there's a huge area of study for me. So I find it very interesting that maybe we should come back on again sometime and really knock that one out too. But anyway,
absolutely, I would love to do that, and I agree. I think it's it's a subject that we all are clearly involved in, and so it's a really interesting topic, and it's nice to have different perspectives along the line. So, but thank you so much for having me. This was really great. I enjoyed it a lot. So thank you.
Good. All right. Well, we're going to end feed. Thanks guys for being here. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments section below, and Katie will be able to see them. Hopefully she can respond to it. Yeah, you're on Facebook. Duh. All right. Well, we'll see you guys soon tomorrow, 1:30. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.